Hey guys, welcome back to an all-new episode of Chuckload of Comics, your source for nerd news, movie reviews, comic book talk, videos with little babies getting cheese thrown on their faces. Everything that happens in the world of fandom over the past 7 days, we break it down for you every single Sunday right here on YouTube. It's like headline news for geeks and nerds, people like you, people like us. If this is your first time to the channel, guys, welcome. Take a second, click that subscribe button. Join us here every Sunday for all the fun. We've got an amazing crop of nerd news for you guys this week. I know I say that every week, but if you take a look at that sidebar over there, there's just so much stuff happened this week in the world of fandom. It's insane. We're going to give you our review of the new Guy Ritchie movie, The Gentleman. Very positive review. Stick around for that. Loved this movie. The new Denis Villeneuve movie, Dune. Footage has been seen and reviews are glowing. We're going to read to you what people are saying about the footage that they saw for the new Dune movie. Obi-Wan, the Disney Plus series Obi-Wan, sad to say production has been put on hold for a whole year. We're going to break down exactly why and what does this mean for the new Disney Plus series. And finally, in a really fun story, Patrick Stewart has met with Kevin Feige over at Marvel about X-Men, about maybe reprising the role of Charles Xavier. We're going to say, basically break down everything that happened in that meeting. So tons of stuff to get into this week, guys. If this is your first time to the channel, you picked a really good week to come to the Chuckload of Comics show. So before we get into all of that stuff, a lot of you guys have been hitting us up on social media about C2E2.
Yeah.
The Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo is coming to the great city of Chicago February 28th through March 1st.
Woohoo!
So in just a matter of weeks, guys, C2E2 is coming back to Chicago, coming to McCormick Place. And if you follow C2E2 on social media, if you follow Chuckload of Comics on social media, you might have seen this thing called Podcast Central. We're here. I kind of want to break down sort of what Podcast Central is, because you guys have been asking us a lot of questions. Basically, the Chuckload of Comics show and our good friends over at the Chumpcast,
yes,
one of our favorite podcasts here in Chicago, we've been meeting with people over at C2E2 for several months now, and we have decided we're launching a brand new show floor attraction.
So cool.
Are you a podcaster? Are you a YouTuber? Any sort of video creator, and you're coming to C2E2, we've decided we're making a fully stocked production studio right on the show floor, and we're opening up our doors to all of you creators out there. It's going to be called Podcast Central. It's going to be located right next to Artist Alley. What it is, we built this space, and it's going to be fully functional. Fully functional.
Like, audio, video, everything you want and need for your podcast needs, your YouTube needs. I mean, we're going to have it there. And most importantly, this is 100% free.
Yes.
You just have to sign up on the website. I mean, I think you put a link below in the...
Okay, so are you a YouTuber or a podcaster? What do you got to do? You just go to the Chuckload of Comics website. Go to chuckloadofcomics.com/forms, and we got a little form you fill out. We want to get as many YouTubers and podcasters as we can in the studio. Space is limited, and it's starting to fill up pretty quickly. So go to chuckloadofcomics.com. Go to our website. If you go to the homepage, there's a little button that says Podcast Central. Mm-hmm. It's got all the details on there. So do not wait. We've got a lot of great people. People are coming from all over the country to take part in Podcast Central. We've got the Mad Titan podcast.
Woohoo!
Our good buddy Jay Washington, formerly from Collider Movie Talk. He's going to fly all the way out here to do his Mad Titan show from our studio at C2E2. We've got a NPR show, National Public Radio's coming to the Podcast Central to do one of their nerdy shows.
So cool.
We've got Tom Bilyeu's coming. Impact Theory.
Yeah.
We're going to be sitting down with Tom Bilyeu. I'm hoping we can maybe have him do an Impact Theory show.
Would be cool.
We're still in the talks of that, but we got a lot of local people who are going to come do their podcast. So if you're a podcaster, go to chuckloadofcomics.com/forums and apply, and do it soon.
That's right.
Because like I said, space is filling up. And if you're not a podcaster, just come by Podcast Central and hang out with us.
That's right.
Because we'd love to meet you guys. So hopefully this is going to grow year to year. Yeah. So come by. Let us know what you think, man. And so there's going to be lots of footage for you guys to check out. Lots of cool interviews we've already got lined up.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But just one quick statement.
Yeah.
It is free to sign up, but your badge isn't free. You got to have a
Good
badge already
point.
to
This
get
is-
into C2E2.
This is people for people who are already attending
Yeah.
the Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo. So if you're coming, because it's hard, if you're a creator, when you go to these conventions, it's kind of hard to wait in line. to put a mic in somebody's face and hope you get an interview. This is a nice, calm, friendly place where you can bring your interviews. You can conduct them totally free. We'll totally hook you up. We got camera equipment, audio equipment, the whole 9 yards.
We'll
so all you got to do is sit there and just do your show.
Yep, exactly. Thanks again to the guys at Chumpcast for helping us out with this, too. This is going to be great.
Absolutely. Really excited for that partnership, guys. So let us know in the comments section. Are you coming? Do you have any questions? Please reach out to us and let us know your questions, concerns, and if you're going to be joining us. So before we get into all this week's crazy nerd news, it's time for our weekly movie review.
Woohoo!
This week's movie review is the new Guy Ritchie film, The Gentleman.
Oh, my gosh.
My favorite movie of 2020. Really one of my favorite movies I've seen in quite a while.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, this was just a fun venture. Like it was old school Guy Ritchie, but seasoned Guy Ritchie. That was the beautiful part about it.
Good point. If you're fans of Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, if you're a fan of Snatch, it's that style of Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Going back to what he's really, really good at. But like you were just saying, you can tell he's got a lot of work under his belt. He's become a much cleaner director. It feels way more like a big budget film than it does an independent film.
To steal something that you said the other day, and this didn't come from me, but you likened it to Quentin Tarantino and Kill Bill. It's
Kill Bill level awesomeness for Guy Ritchie. So what's the movie about? The movie it's got a massive cast.
Oh my gosh.
Including Matthew McConaughey, Colin Farrell. Who else is in this movie?
Oh man, Hugh Grant. It's so good.
Basically, what's about it's a gangster movie. Matthew McConaughey plays a pot dealer, like a massive pot dealer. Well, he's an aging gangster, so he's going to get out of the game. So he's selling his pot biz to an interested party. This leaves a sort of a hole, a power vacuum. And so a lot of gangsters want to kind of fill that power vacuum. So it starts some major gangster stuff. Lots of people getting killed. Charlie Hunnam is in the movie. I forgot to mention him. Phenomenal. I mean, really everybody in this movie is absolutely incredible.
I know.
Especially Matthew McConaughey. Charlie Hunnam is probably one of the main characters in the movie.
Yep.
You were talking about not Colin Farrell, but Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. This is by far, and I don't mean this lightly, the best role I have ever seen him do. Because usually we're used to seeing Hugh Grant in his Notting Hill.
Four Weddings and a Funeral. Yeah.
He always plays the kind of quirky British young aristocrat, and that's just every single role I've ever seen him in. So to see him in this, it was fantastic, and he actually does an accent for the first time.
Like a really heavy Cockney accent.
Yeah, and he kills it. I just thought it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's listed as a, not even a starring role, but just an also featuring Hugh Grant. He stole the movie for me, a lot.
This is it's an ensemble cast right up there with Knives Out.
Yeah.
One of the best ensemble casts I've seen in a film in a long time. Begs the question of why they released this thing in January outside of Oscar season. Because if they would have released this 4 months ago, we'd be talking Oscar for Guy Ritchie for this film.
I agree. I think it's just nice. Maybe Guy Ritchie just wanted to get back in the game and he didn't care about award season. But hopefully this movie will not be forgotten for next year because, like you said, I think every single person in this film could be nominated for a supporting actor role, a main role.
Our theater was
hands down.
packed.
Yeah.
There were so many. It was a sold-out theater.
It was
on
well
a Friday
worth it.
night, man. So go see it, guys. Go see The Gentleman. Did you see it? Leave us a comment. Let us know. What did you think of Guy Ritchie's return to form in The Gentleman? We'd really like to know. So, guys, we got a ton of nerd news we're going to break down for you right now. So, without further ado, this is this week's Nerd News. All right, guys. So, first big nerd news story of the week is about the movie Dune. The new Denis Villeneuve movie, the movie that's really hard to make.
Right?
I mean, there's been a lot of Dune movies. None of them have been really, really great. Well, the first footage has been shown. It was preview footage shown to a very small group of industry insiders, and it is already being hailed as an epic film. They're using the word epic left and right. So the footage screen, it was completely unfinished footage. So the special effects weren't done, but it did kind of give you a sense of the massive landscape, the cinematography, and one reviewer, a gentleman by the name of Brian Clement. You know him. He's a sci-fi horror novelist. Well, he saw the footage and he took to Twitter. He said a lot of stuff on Twitter. We're going to read just about everything that he said, and the reason we're doing that is because all of it's been taken down by Twitter. So here it is. There's a lot of it, so stick around. First thing he says, Brian Clement said, "I am not exaggerating when I say a lot of people will have goosebumps and tears when they see this movie. I might have." He said, "Heck, when they see the footage, I think there's going to be goosebumps and tears." He went on to say, as a follow-up to my previous opinion on the new Dune movie, based only on the footage I saw, since people are curious, I think this will blow people away the way that Lord of the Rings did 20 years ago, the way that Star Wars did 40 years ago. He said it's not Jodorowsky or Lynch, but maybe Villeneuve has finally filmed the unfilmable.
Wow.
His final statement, and there, like I said, there was a lot of these things. He said, I love this one. He said, I'm in my office now with one of my fellow sci-fi nerd fan friends, and we're talking about how my Dune tweet blew up and how it's killing us that we can't share the specifics we saw in the preview footage. I really like that last one that he said.
I know, that's so much fun. It's like what we do sometimes. We will, because we get invited to some pre-screenings and some and press screenings, and we want to talk about the movie so bad, but we're not allowed to. So
I like it where it's like he's nerding out about how his tweet is blowing up.
Oh,
you know,
that
you
too,
post something on Instagram and it's like, oh my god, it's got 50 likes. That's amazing. Look at how it's going freaking viral.
Right.
Well, it went viral for a minute, and then
they took it down.
Twitter instantly took it down. Sadly.
I know.
So this one's really fun. His last little tweet that he wrote. This is post Twitter taking. He's not supposed to say these things on Twitter.
I mean, come on.
So after it got taken down, he posted this. He said, "I really didn't realize just how secret the whole Dune production has been until that tweet about seeing some footage completely blew up. Now I've been introduced into a super passionate Dune fan base going bonkers for any info, and I'm just a guy from Canada working in the industry." So he's having a really good day on social media. He's happy as hell. But to go back to some of the things he said, I mean, he said it's going to blow people away that the Lord of the Rings did 20 years ago. It's going to blow people away the way Star Wars did 40 years ago. And I gotta say again, this is unfinished footage.
Yeah, I mean, how hyped are you now for this movie?
Insanely hyped.
Me too. It doesn't come out till 2021.
No,
right?
It's this year.
Oh, it's this year?
It comes at the end of 2020. It's like it's December.
Gosh.
I think it's November.
Wow, they're going to be so secretive about this.
I know.
If they're not showing us footage or trailers or anything yet, and it comes out this year.
It does. Principal Photography has wrapped.
Oh, no.
If you guys followed any of Josh Brolin's stuff on Instagram when he was filming the movie, it was great. So Principal Photography, as you know, has wrapped a little while ago. So now they're in the post-production phase, and they're starting to show dailies and clips and stuff to people, and they're losing their minds.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it doesn't seem like this any of this footage that they saw was intended for public release.
Right.
So don't expect to see any of this footage anytime soon. You'll probably never see this footage because it is just unfinished footage. But wow, they're using the word epic. They're saying it's Lord of the Rings quality. It's the Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars.
That's insane.
Get excited. Shauna,
I am excited.
super stoked for Dune?
Yeah, even more so now, especially after that guy. I love it, like you said, I just love his reaction to it. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he's having a fun day on Twitter. So guys, let us know in the comment section, what do you think about Dune? What do you think about these comics? Does this up your excitement level for Dune? Does it change your nerd needle in any way? Let us know in the comments section, and Dune comes out this year.
Woohoo!
So next big nerd news story of the week. This one's really a bummer. The new Obi-Wan series. The one that was supposed to be a movie a while ago, and then it became a television series on Disney+. Well, it was just announced this week that production has been put on hold for a whole year.
Oh my gosh.
They're putting the production of Obi-Wan on hold. I want to address some of the rumors that dropped this week, because originally the rumors that were flying all over the internet this week were that Obi-Wan was canceled.
Yeah.
It is not canceled.
Okay.
They're just putting it on hold. The reason for that is there was issues with the script. Script issues. They lost their writer. You know, when they say they lost their writer, it usually means they fired their writer.
Right.
The writer, Hussein Amini, he was the screenplay writer for the movie Drive, the Academy Award-winning movie Drive, Snow White and the Huntsman. So it was a really acclaimed writer, but apparently the people over at Disney and Lucasfilms weren't really jazzed. Maybe they weren't jazzed. Maybe they just want to go in a different direction.
Yeah, that could be
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple story, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Amini, basically his story was that the Kenobi story treaded similar ground as The Mandalorian, seeing the Jedi Master lending a protective hand to a young Luke and perhaps even a young Leia. I don't believe that young Leia part.
Yeah,
that
right.
part doesn't really make a lot of sense because there was no reason why Leia and Luke. Why would Leia have gone back to Tatooine?
Right, no clue. That
So
doesn't make much sense at all. I just don't know what's going on over at Disney. Like, why is this so difficult to make?
it's becoming par for the course for the people over at Disney. They're always
Yeah.
they're always firing directors,
Yeah.
coming up with new writers, postponing stuff, going back to the drawing board a lot. The only thing that went off without a hitch was The Mandalorian at this point.
And I understand that they want perfection. I get that. But why is this so hard? It's Obi-Wan. We all want to see this story.
It's a simple story.
Ewan McGregor wants to be a part of it, and he's perfect for the role. He obviously showed us that already, but I just don't get it. Just give us the show already.
I know. Well, more sad news.
Oh,
well,
no.
this is sad, but maybe not so sad. This is all confirmed. It's confirmed that Lucasfilm is looking for a new writer, but it was also confirmed that they are scaling the show down.
Oh, boy.
From a 6-episode series to a 4-episode series.
Oh, great.
So we're going a lot more compact. On the surface, this seems like bad news, but I actually think this is good news.
Really?
Well, maybe not good news, but I'm okay with it being a 4-episode
Scares me a
season.
little bit.
Some of the biggest complaints for Mandalorian was that it went on. It was like 8 half-hour episodes that kind of just went all over the place. They didn't have
good
one
point.
concise story that they
Yeah.
stuck with. It was just kind of, it started out as one thing, it turned into something in the middle, and then it finally went back to what it originally was at the end.
Okay.
I much prefer if they were planning on doing a 6-episode half-hour series that was basically going to be 3 hours of storytelling. I'd much rather 4-hour-long episodes.
Okay.
And do it miniseries style.
No, that actually makes sense. I just hope that it is 4 hour long episodes,
Yeah.
and not 4 20-minute episodes.
Oh God! If it's 4 half-hour episodes, I think heads
We're
are going
really
to
in trouble.
roll. So why are they doing this? Does it have anything to do with the reaction to Rise of Skywalker? Anything to do with the success of Mandalorian? Perhaps they're trying to do some crossover Mandalorian stuff with Boba Fett.
Oh, okay. And maybe the writer just didn't want to change what he'd already written. Maybe that's the case. He didn't want to add in some of this crossover stuff.
Maybe this is going to tie into the Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some ideas for season 2 that involve,
Okay.
I don't know, Jabba or something. Well,
Maybe.
Jabba's already dead at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it has something to do with Darth Maul coming back.
Oh my
maybe
gosh,
because
that'd
that
be
was a big
crazy.
thing that happened in fandom. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to be Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have Darth Maul, but they realized that's what people want to see, and so maybe they're rewriting it that way.
Okay.
If you ever read the comic books, the Obi-Wan Kenobi journal, there's so much story to tell.
Yeah.
Like, he was doing stuff while he was keeping an eye on Luke.
Right, of course.
So, I don't know, guys. Let us know in the comment section. What do you think about Obi-Wan getting postponed for an entire year of production? And what do you think? Is it smart to rewrite it based on fan reactions to other shows? Let us know. What does this mean to you? Does it mean anything? Are you excited about Obi-Wan? Let us know in the comment section. Let us know what you think. So this final little piece of nerd news, something we really wanted to throw in here at the end. Kind of a short story.
Sure.
But we were watching Picard the other day.
Oh, what a great show.
And we started just sitting around on social media, and we found out Patrick Stewart. Speaking of Picard, by the way, Picard's phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
You gotta watch Picard. Get CBS All Access. Check
it out. It's fantastic.
Well worth your time. Way better than Star Trek Discovery.
Yes.
I don't know how much
Sorry.
of a fan you guys are of Star Trek Discovery, but this is like a classic episode of Next Generation.
Oh, I can't wait till the next one.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. That was amazing. But an even cooler news. Patrick Stewart was doing a press junket. He was doing his sort of press tour for Picard. He sat down with an interviewer who asked him about Charles Xavier, asked him about the launch of the new XMen, and Patrick Stewart just came out and he said that he has met with Kevin Feige multiple times
Holy crumbs.
about possible Charles Xavier return, about the future of the X-Men in the MCU. Specifically what he said. Patrick Stewart said in this interview, he said, I met with Kevin Feige a couple of months ago, and we have had long conversations. He said, and there have been many moves and suggestions which include Charles Xavier. So the meetings have taken place, according to Patrick Stewart.
Holy crumbs.
So Kevin Feige has been thinking about bringing Patrick Stewart back as Charles Xavier, but before you get too excited, will this happen? Probably not.
No. I mean, they had the perfect ending for Charles Xavier in Logan, so I just don't see him reprising that role. And why would he want to? Like,
Exactly.
If you're trying to, and why would Kevin Feige want to do that even too? Because you're trying to rebirth the X-Men in the MCU universe. Why would you want a 80-year-old Charles Xavier?
Patrick Stewart is 79 years old, and if this X-Men thing is going to run for another 20 years like the Avengers did,
it doesn't make sense.
you don't start with an 80-year-old actor
No,
to
you
play
gotta-
Charles Xavier.
Right. I mean, Jonathan Hickman is writing these amazing X-Men stories right
Good
now.
point.
and they're all involving like a 40-year-old Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
So just take a play from that.
Start a little young.
Yeah.
Get somebody who's in their 40s,
Like-
who by the time you're done, he's in his late 50s.
I can't wait and hope this happens, but I'd love to see Krakoa on the X-Men movie.
Oh my God.
Scene. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be phenomenal.
I know.
The Living Island.
Yes.
Well, specifically with Patrick Stewart, because you were talking about the death in Logan.
Yep.
We actually saw Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
We were at the International Film Festival here in Chicago. Patrick Stewart was there, and somebody asked him a question about the X-Men, and he talked. You've all seen this on social media. He
Right.
talked about what him and Hugh Jackman were at a screening of Logan.
Yeah.
And they looked at each other. They cried, and Hugh Jackman said, "I'm done," and Patrick Stewart said, "I'm done." And apparently he's sticking to it, because he said in this same interview, he said, "Here's the problem. If we had not made Logan, then yes, I would probably be ready to get into that wheelchair one more time and be Charles Xavier, but Logan changed all that." So
Yeah.
he's sticking to what he originally planned. He's done with it, and I think it's a good idea.
I do too, rightfully so. I mean, it just makes sense.
Let's play fantasy time real quick before we close here, guys. We've talked about our thoughts. I think we're both pretty much in agreement that it's not a good idea to bring Patrick Stewart back to play the
Yeah.
role he was born to play. But who could play? Let's do a little fan casting.
Oh man.
Who, if not Patrick Stewart, could play Charles Xavier in this new rebooted X-Men universe? Shawnee, got any thoughts and ideas who could play
I
Charles
do.
Xavier? You do?
I do. I have one that it'd be a little bit older than the Jonathan Hickman current run for Xavier, but I think Bryan Cranston would be pretty good.
Oh my God.
Xavier. Right?
He has a good bald head.
Yeah. And not to discredit James McAvoy, I love him as Xavier also, but I think he's too young. I think
Well,
we need
we're
an older-
rebooting it.
Yeah, so I think we need maybe Bryan Cranston.
That's an interesting
Ooh,
theory.
This one just popped in my head too. Maybe if you want younger than Bryan Cranston. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, the actor, but the guy from Barry, the Russian, he plays the bald Russian guy.
Oh,
he might make an interesting
yeah. He's going to be in the new Bill and Ted movie.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
No?
He's a little too goofy. I cannot take that guy seriously.
All right.
I love him to death.
Yeah,
But he's
that's
a little
true.
too quirky and fun.
But he was pretty serious in the
In
Gotham. You're right. He's kind of quirky.
He's a little quirky.
All right, never mind.
He does have a
Sorry.
good bald
I'll
head, though.
retract my statement.
Yeah.
How about you, Chuck? Who are you thinking?
I got nobody.
Nobody? Ooh,
Uh,
sticking with Obi-Wan, what about Ewan McGregor?
Interesting.
Yeah, I've never seen him bald, but he might be able to pull it off.
I don't hate that
I
idea.
don't hate that either.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Because he plays a good, wise person. We've seen
And
him.
he's known for taking over, recreating a role that already existed as an older person and then still, selling it as the younger version of that person.
Okay, well, I'm going to come full circle, and I think Hugh Grant would play a phenomenal
What?
Charles Xavier.
Oh, okay.
Just throw that out there. Probably not. Why not?
Daniel Craig?
Now that I think about it, Daniel Craig,
Nah.
Daniel Day-Lewis
Holy crap.
as Charles Xavier. Can you imagine that?
Wow. That's great.
Why, you got something?
Well, this one just popped in my head too, but he might be too old for the genre we're looking at. Jeremy Irons.
Huh. Yeah?
But yeah, he's
British?
Yeah, but he's still older though.
I'm going
I don't-
Daniel Day-Lewis as
That's
Charles
pretty
Xavier
good.
all day.
That'd be good.
That would be insane.
He is such a character actor too. Like that, I don't know.
He's a little older, but he's not Patrick Stewart old.
All right, I'm going Bryan Cranston or Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh,
Let's
that'd be
do
amazing.
it.
That'd be incredible.
Let's do it.
Well, guys, sound off in the comments section. Who do you think could play Charles Xavier in the eventually up-and-coming X-Men universe? That it's going to kick off with New Mutants
Yes.
in April.
Can't wait.
So, guys, that's our whole show. It was a bit of a long one. We had a lot of stuff we had to break down this week. So let us know in the comments section, what of these stories moved your nerd needle, if any of them? And again, if this is your first time to the channel, guys, click the subscribe button. We're here every single Sunday breaking down the week's nerdy news in about a 20-minute segment. I think it's been about 20 minutes this week. I don't know. So that's it, guys. We'll see you at C2E2. Send us emails. Send us info if you want more information about Podcast Central. And join us here next Sunday. See you next time. Have a good week.
Bye-bye.